The Center for Policy Research and Strategic Studies, CEPRAS, recently conducted a survey assessing citizens' perception of local councils' governance in the Gambia. Stay tuned for the details. The World Health Organization has given an alert on the global surge of a cholera outbreak. And tensions are rising in Tunisia, triggered by the country's president's recent comments directed at African migrants. Well, this and more coming your way on The World Today. Hello, this is Eyeafrica TV and you are watching the World Today News Bulletin coming to you live from our studios in Banjul. Many thanks for joining us. I am Amadou Kante and now the news in detail. Now, the Center for Policy Research and Strategic Studies, CEPRAS, conducted a citizens report card survey assessing the perception of people on service delivered by local government councils, focusing on BCC, KMC and the Brikama Area Council. Now, the areas of the survey includes road infrastructure, problems of healthcare service, education, local governance services, waste management, and other related matters under the project strengthening citizen participation in local governance to improve transparency and accountability. Maria Macham reports.
The objective of the project, according to CEPRAS, is to promote transparency and accountability in local service delivery by revealing citizens' view to the government for appropriate policy action. CEPRAS was awarded a 2-year grant from the National Endowment for Democracy for a project strengthening citizens' participation in local governance to improve transparency and accountability. On Saturday, CEPRAS brought together government officials, civil society organizations, and the National Assembly's Select Committee on Local Government to dilate on the dissemination and findings of the survey, cognizant that local governments are accountable to citizens and they must show that they are worthy of trust. Creating a culture of accountability will help local governments build trust with citizens, operate more effectively, and better serve the public. Landing B. Sane, President of the Gambia Association of Local Government Authority, Galga, while speaking on the role of the local government council, said local councils' activities are subjected to public scrutiny.
Remind us of our commitment last year when we launched this project. And I think from the feedbacks we are getting, or we got already, there is every indication that the local government authorities so far that have been sampled and targeted for the first phase have been maximally cooperating as far as the project is concerned. I think that goes to show a very good sign that Galga is taking a position to make sure that the local government authorities do not fall short of being accountable to the electorates and to the general public of this country.
Honorable Babu Sise, National Assembly member for Sabah Sanjal and member of the Parliament Select Committee on Local Government, emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability.
The importance of transparency and accountability cannot be overstressed. It enhances good governance and accountability for decision-making in high levels of transparency. So, CEPRAS, you can see how important this project it is. We thank you very much for having such a wonderful initiative. Good governance in the public sector is fundamental to ensure that public sector entities achieve their intended outcomes while acting in the public interest at all times. Openness will strengthen our democracy and promote efficiency and effectiveness in public services.
In order to improve transparency and accountability in all aspects of governance, Buba Sanyang, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Lands, also encourages more citizens' participation.
But most importantly, to improve transparency and accountability in our society. We have to put the involvement of the citizens to context. And in doing that, we should be able to bring them to a level where we feel they can make impact. So transparency and accountability at the end will be felt. Where are the stages where the citizens play a crucial role? One of it is the representation, preparing to select our representation. This is not only at the National Assembly and the Council and Chairman level. This goes down to the smallest level, that's at the VDC.
The survey, which put focus on the Carnifing Municipal Council, the Banjul City Council and the Waskas region, is centered on key areas which include education, waste management, road infrastructure, local government services, natural resources and health services. The aim of the survey is to promote transparency and accountability in local service delivery by revealing citizens' view to the government for appropriate policy action. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Yahya Jammeh.
Now, moving on, the World Health Organization, WHO, warns this week that the global surge of cholera cases has put more than 1 billion people in 43 countries at risk. Now, at a news conference on Friday, the WHO cholera team leader, Philip, Barbosa, told reporters there are more countries have been reported outbreak last week. Moses Mendy has more details of that in this report.
The rude awakening has compelled the World Health Organization to solicit more support to combat the widespreading cholera outbreak. The agency is appealing to donors to support a $25 million fund to help prevent the cholera outbreaks and save lives. So far, 22 countries across the world are fighting outbreaks of the acute diarrheal infection caused by eating or drinking contaminated food or water. The head of WHO cholera team, Philippe Barbosa, said the number of cholera cases soared in 2022 following years of falling numbers of cases, adding that the trend is expected to continue into this year and that cases have been reported in 5 of the 6 regions where WHO operates. Dr. Barbosa identified poverty, disasters, conflict and climate change as the driving factors of the disease, alongside a lack of access to safe drinking water and sanitation. Drawing attention to the limited number of vaccines, medicines and testing kits, he observed that an unprecedented situation requires an unprecedented response. About 37 million doses are said to be available in 2023, while more doses are expected by next year as cholera deaths and risks around the globe continue to grow. According to WHO, an estimated 26,000 cases and 660 deaths have been reported as of January 29, 2023, in 10 African countries facing outbreaks since the beginning of the year. Meanwhile, last year, nearly 80,000 cases and 1,863 deaths were recorded from 15 affected countries. For Eyeafrica News, I am Moses Imendi.
Back to matters here in the African continent now. The authorities of the Suez Canal in Egypt are planning to increase transit charges on certain vessels using the canal amid the growing cost of the Suez Canal. Now, last year, the Suez Canal recorded its highest income of $8 billion, becoming one of the main contributors of the country's economy. Expansion works have since begun at the canal as part of the management's initiative to accommodate bigger vessels to enhance revenue collection. And let's have more details of that in this report.
It's the second raise by the Suez Canal Authority since the beginning of the year. The new tariffs will be implemented on certain types of vessels. Surcharges on tankers carrying oil and petroleum products will increase by 25%. Empty vessels will see tariffs hike by 15%, while bulk carriers and tourist ships will pay an extra 10%.
This increase comes after the management conducted studies of the international maritime market and the growing cost of operating the Suez Canal. The price is now higher than some competitors, but not to an extent that negatively affects demand.
The Suez Canal posted record revenues hitting $8 billion in 2022, making it an important driver for the stricken economy.
The Suez Canal is a vital source of hard currency for Egypt, which is suffering from a drought in dollar revenues, and the income also helps narrow the budget deficit. The Suez Canal has managed to attract new clients in the last 2 years, seated applied flexible price systems in an astute marketing strategy.
Officials are planning to take up use of the international waterway. The channel is being widened and deepened to accommodate larger vessels, speed up the transit period, and increase the number of ships passing through the canal that connects the Mediterranean and the Red Sea.
Developing the southern section is vital to preventing incidents like the Evergreen saga. The upgrade will also allow the canal to keep up with the evolving shipping industry, which is now building much larger tankers and heavier loads.
The Suez Canal Authority chairman has already announced that the waterway is targeting to rake in $8 billion this year after its record-breaking performance in 2022.
Now, in other news, the prevailing economic hardship in Lebanon, triggered by high inflation, soaring prices of essential food items and other related factors, left most citizens struggling for survival. Now, the latest World Bank report indicates that food price inflation, of course, increased high in the country. And let's have more details of that in this report.
Currency devaluation, political deadlock, soaring fuel prices, and a 3-year economic crisis are pushing Lebanese citizens to the brink of poverty. Earlier this month, the pound sank to a new record low of 8,000 against the U.S. dollar. This after a 90% currency devaluation on February 1st. The results have been sky-high cost of living and food prices. According to the latest World Bank report on food safety, Lebanon's food price inflation rose by a whopping 103% from September to December last year.
Everything is high, but the low as before. We cannot bear it. In the past, we would usually buy 3 to 5 kilograms of onions each time, but now we can only afford 1 onion. This has never happened in Lebanon, and it's getting worse.
The Lebanese pound has been suffering since the country's financial meltdown in 2019, losing more than 97% of its value against the dollar on the parallel market. The country logged an annual inflation rate of over 170% last year, according to official figures.
You are watching the World Today News Bulletin on Eyeafrica TV, coming to you live from our studios in Banjul, and from that economic-related reporter from Lebanon. We now take a break and come back shortly.
Africa Global brings you state-of-the-art commercial and is available for rent at Madiba Mall, located at the Proof Estate. This comes with facilities such as 24-hour security, standby backup generator, air conditioning, shared conference room, and personal cash pour meters. If you are looking for a spacious, suitable business environment, look no further. Madiba Mall retail and commercial spaces are just what you need. Ocean view of spaces with limited availability. Call us today and secure a space. For more information, contact 733-3363 or 594-1053 or email at info@top.com.
Welcome back, and this is Africa TV. You are watching the World Today News Bulletin, coming to you live from our studios in Banjul. And once again, many thanks for joining us. Let's now look at the rest of the story. Now, President Adama Barrow Friday presided over the swearing ceremony of the 5 commissioners appointed to probe into the conduct of all local government councils and connected matters. Among other things, the General Basambu-led commission is being authorized to inquire into the councils and in particular the circumstances surrounding the loans acquired for and on behalf of a local government council between the period of May 2018 to January 2023 and also to ascertain whether applicable policies and procedures were followed in securing such loans. Yahya Jammeh again has more details of that in this report.
The establishment of the Commission of Inquiry into Conduct of Local Councils, according to the Gambian leader, came following financial and administrative irregularities for 4 local government councils. In terms of reference of the commissioners in the conduct of local councils, the President said it is aimed at providing the government with informed policy choices for effective local government reform and a functional decentralization workshop. Speaking at the swearing-in ceremony, President Adam Barrow further explains the rationale of his government's move to set up the Commission of Inquiry.
Government bears a statutory oversight obligation over councils. The setting up of this Commission of Inquiry is the result of complaints sent from 4 councils about alleged financial and administrative irregularities. Guided by Section 200 of the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, I deem it necessary to establish a Commission of Inquiry to investigate alleged irregularities. In discharging our responsibilities as a government, we are committed to the principles of accountability and transparency. Thus, we have to take proper steps to strengthen professionalism in all public institutions, including local councils.
The formation of the Commission has, however, instigated divergent reactions among the citizenry, especially among the political class, with some of the opposition viewing it witch hunt, mainly against the UDP, who are currently manning most of the local government councils. But President Adam Barrow believes that the commission is relevant, considering the number of complaints and alleged financial irregularities reported at the councils.
Furthermore, oversight measures, including a court ruling and directives from the Local Government Service Commission to institute suitable redress procedures, are still being hindered. These circumstances, among other factors, have seriously undermined the administration and social service delivery obligations of the said councils. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gambia government has a huge responsibility to restore and maintain normality at all levels of the establishment. It bears a statutory oversight obligation over council and has been duly advised to adopt appropriate measures to address the irregularities complained against them.
General Sambu, the chairperson of the commission, describes their appointment as a huge responsibility, but she was quick to add that it is a task they will fulfill to its best.
I wish to sincerely convey my gratitude and that of the entire commission for the trust and confidence accorded to us. We believe this is a great responsibility, and we humbly accept with full understanding of the task bestowed upon us. Your Excellency, we pledge to do our utmost during the period that we serve to warrant your trust, confidence, support in the execution of our duty. Your Excellency, allow me at this point to refer to the greatest Greek philosopher, Plato, who said, and I quote, "He who works to serve his country must have not only the power to think, but the will to act." Your Excellency, it is my considered opinion that the above quote from Plato aptly describes not only your desire to serve this country, but your will, courage, and determination to act is evident in the setting up of this commission.
The 5 commissioners include General Sambu as chairperson, Sukai Seka Sanya, Ormi E. Joyner, Alaji Silla, and Samba Fall. The commission is assigned to investigate and present its report within 3 months to guide the government on the adoption of relevant policy and administrative options. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Yahya Jammeh.
And from the report there by Yahya Jammeh onto our final story now, but this time in the North African region, because the recent comments made by the Tunisian president directed at African migrants have not gone down well with activists in the North African country, thus calling for respect of migrants' rights. Now, the activists said while the president has the right to protect his countries against any threat, but noted that his discriminatory speech and incitement of violence towards migrants are unacceptable. President Kais Saied has, however, warned against assault that might target Africans legally residing in Tunisia and call for their protection. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Activists have taken issue with arbitrary arrests by Tunisian police targeting dozens of African regular and irregular migrants. And there is a gap between the official discourse of the state calling for respect of migrant rights and the reality of the abusive practices against such minorities. Activists say the president's speech included incitement to hatred and racial discrimination.
Sub-Saharan communities have been aggressively targeted, assaulted, their property looted, and have been evicted from their homes. This is unacceptable. The president has the right to defend his country against any security threat, but not through violence. The president's discourse was perceived as a green light for people to target migrants.
Students say Tunisia's black population, which is an integral part of the society, is also considered and treated as foreign by some racist groups. Many Tunisians argue that freedom of speech is not freedom to spread racial hatred in the streets and on social media.
Even black Tunisians are targeted by hate speech and racism, while the majority of the population in the south of Tunisia is made up of black people or Tunisian nationals.
Tunisian President Kais Saied insists he never called for racial discrimination against migrants. The head of state has urged government officials to protect and defend the rights of sub-Saharan Africans legally residing in Tunisia.
I warn against assaults that may target our brothers from sub-Saharan Africa residing legally in Tunisia. My call for an urgent end to the influx of sub-Saharan African migrants into Tunisia has been exploited by imposters and malicious people by using the card of racial discrimination. They seek to sow discord and division and to damage Tunisia's relations with African states.
The president has also declared that no racial discrimination can come from the country whose old name was Eyeafrica, which means Africa. The head of state added that sub-Saharan Africans who have come to Tunisia have found refuge in the country, but they are not above the law.
You've been watching the World Today News Bulletin on Eyeafrica TV, and from that report there from the North African country of Tunisia, we now eventually bring this news edition to an end. But for more details on this and other stories, as always, as ever, you can visit on our website on eyeafrica.tv. But for now, many thanks for the privilege of your company. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and do have a pleasant evening. Bye.